Well, let it soak. Put it in hot water with some of that dish detergent up there, Sissy. You can't help it. Hmm. What? Mm.
saying.
Okay, well come in because I'm fixing to eat.
Oh, okay.
Pull the glass door too, buddy.
Okay.
Justice for my brother, my big brother. The brother calling out to his mother in those final moments of his life.
When he called out for his mama, we believe that the ears of mamas across this nation reared up, that the ears of mamas across this world heard him cry, even though for one mama, all mamas began to wail.
Inside the church, NFL star J.J. Watt, actor Jamie Foxx, here to pay their respects. Just a day after meeting with the family, former Vice President Joe Biden sharing a video message and these words for 6-year-old Gianna.
Daddy's looking down. He's so proud of you. No child should have to ask questions that too many black children have had to ask for generations. Why? Why's Daddy gone? When there is justice for George Floyd, we will truly be on our way to racial justice in America. And then, as you said, Gianna, your daddy will have changed the world.
A regular man from the streets of South Houston, whose legacy now may be a catalyst for change.
If 4 black cops had done to one white what was done to George, they wouldn't have to teach no new lessons. Until we know the price for black life is the same as the price for white life, we're going to keep coming back to these situations over and over again. And we should recognize the mother of Trayvon Martin, where you stand. The mother of Eric Garner, where you stand.
One by one, the Reverend Al Sharpton calling on those who shared the Floyd family's anguish.
All of these families came to stand with this family, because they know better than anyone else the pain they will
Go
suffer.
fix your hamburger.
Tonight, George Floyd's final journey. Crowds lining the streets of Houston as he's laid to rest beside his beloved mother.
Marcus Moore witnessing it all with us right here in Houston today. And Marcus, I know you're now in the neighborhood where George Floyd grew up, and of course there's the new mural right there behind you.
Yeah, David, the mural on the side of a neighborhood market was created just days ago, and we have watched a constant stream of people coming here, many of them bringing their children to take pictures or simply get a glimpse of this spot that since Floyd's death has become a rallying point for change. David.
Marcus Moore leading us off tonight. Marcus, thank you. And of course, as all of this was playing out tonight, the newly released videos of other cases of deadly force. A driver in Austin, Texas, for one, accused of failing to dim his headlights and then resisting arrest, saying he could not breathe before he died. Here's ABC's Alex Perez from Minneapolis tonight.
Tonight, newly released body camera video of a deadly encounter with police, this time in Austin, Texas. From March of last year, it shows Javier Ambler's last moments.
Can I please play on my tablet?
Police say Ambler failed to dim his headlights as he drove past a deputy and resisted arrest. In the video, you can hear him
Oh, she's right here.
breathe several times.
I thought of her up there. I knew the gates were open.
At the hospital, initially ruled justifiable homicide. The case now under investigation. And Oklahoma City police releasing this video of a deadly incident. Derek Scott died after being arrested over allegations he passed a fake $20 bill at a taco truck. He too can be heard saying he cannot breathe. His manner of death ruled unknown.
They said they don't care.
Were cleared of any wrongdoing. This incident happened in
This man too said that he can't breathe, and they said they don't care.
after Black Lives Matter members demanded it. These videos and others coming out as the cries to reform or even defund police departments and procedures grow louder.
Defund the police does not mean zeroing out public safety budgets. What it means is taking money from law
Did you get some
enforcement
macaroni and cheese, Wesley?
and
Or
reallocating
children
it.
cheese?
LA announcing major cuts to police funding, Seattle considering a 50% reduction, and New York redirecting funds to youth programs and moving a bill forward that would ban chokeholds, with criticism mounting police unions in New York and across the country defending officers.
This isn't staged by someone in Minneapolis. Stop treating us like animals and thugs. And start treating us with some respect.
But sometimes dismantling a police department is seen as the only or best option. Camden, New Jersey was considered one of the deadliest cities in America for years. They disbanded their entire police department in 2013 and rebuilt it from the ground up, and saw improved community relations and a dramatic drop in violent crime.
We invested heavily in training and teaching cops how to de-escalate situations so that they didn't make bad situations worse. And if they didn't follow the policy, we took pretty swift action to rectify it.
So let's get to Alex Perez joining us live from Minneapolis tonight. And Alex, we know President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden have come out against defunding police. Joe Biden has said he does believe there needs to be reform. We know in Minneapolis, where you've been from the very start, officials there already voted to disband the police. So where does that stand tonight?
Yeah, David, the majority of city council here supports disbanding the police department, but at this point they have not provided any concrete details as to how that would all happen or when it would take place. A long debate on all of this is expected in the weeks and months ahead. David?
Alex Perez with us again tonight. Alex, thank you. And as the eyes of the nation were on the funeral of George Floyd today, there is a growing acknowledgement of the need for change from both parties on Capitol Hill. President Trump was not part of that conversation today, instead tweeting a conspiracy theory about the 75-year-old man who was pushed to the ground by police and left bleeding during a protest. Here's our chief White House correspondent, John Carl.
People are crazy now.
George Floyd was honored and laid to rest today, and lawmakers in both parties gathered on Capitol Hill to address the national outcry over his death. President Trump stayed out of sight all day. Out of sight, but still stoking division. Promoting a new conspiracy theory, the president made unfounded allegations against the 75-year-old protester named Martin Gugino, the man who was pushed by police in Buffalo last week. The police officers leaving him behind as he laid motionless. 2 police officers have been charged with assault. But this morning, the president tweeted Gugino could be an Antifa provocateur, charging the senior citizen appeared to scan police communications in order to black out the equipment, adding, "I watched. He fell harder than was pushed. Was aiming scanner. Could be a setup." The president was citing a bizarre report by fringe right-wing television network OAN. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo fired back at the president.
What do you think it was staged? You think the blood coming out of his head was staged? Is that what you're saying? You saw his head hit the pavement. You see blood on the pavement. Maybe he fell harder than he was pushed. How reckless, how irresponsible, how mean, how crude.
But on Capitol Hill, most Republican senators ducked questions.
What do you make of the president's tweet this morning? And does the president need to be more cautious about what he tweets?
I didn't see it, so I'd have to. I'm sure that my office will be able to get me a copy of it, but I didn't see it.
The only Republicans willing to comment were those who have already been written off by the president.
It makes no sense that we are fanning the flames right at this time. This is not good.
It was a shocking thing to say, and I won't dignify it with any further comment.
Not even the president's own chief of staff would defend the tweet.
I learned a long time ago not to comment on tweets.
The lawyer for Martin Gugino, the 75-year-old who was pushed by the police in Buffalo and who is still in the hospital, has responded to the president saying, quote, "We are at a loss to understand why the president of the United States would make such a dark, dangerous, and untrue accusation against him." David?
John Carl with us live from the White House. John, thank you. Around the world and here in the U.S., protesters are demanding civil
Does that look
separations
staged to
be torn
you?
down. We saw that image in the UK.
I didn't see the man fall.
And tonight in the U.S.,
But
it's just been announced in
I
Jacksonville,
saw him
Florida,
bleeding.
and what the U.S. military is now considering.
And so, no, that didn't look staged.
I mean, I'm not being rude, but there's such thing as fake blood, but I didn't see them take out anything.
Demonstrators in Bristol
There is
toppled the statue of a 17th century slave trader, then dumping him in the harbor. Pressure from protesters is creating action in America as well. In Jacksonville, Florida, a statue of a Confederate soldier standing on this pedestal since the 19th century, carted off by the city overnight.
This is a symbol of white supremacy and hate that was put up in the Jim Crow days, and black people know that.
Just moments ago, the city's mayor ordering all Confederate statues removed. Tonight, the U.S. Navy moving to ban all Confederate flags from public spaces. But some argue these monuments are a part of history. In Virginia, there's a stalemate over this monument to Robert E. Lee. The governor wants it gone, but a judge issuing an injunction against its removal. Protesters here in the UK marked this statue of Winston Churchill with graffiti, calling him a racist. And now organizers are out with a list of about 60 statues around the country that they're demanding be removed. David?
Maggie Ruley tonight. Maggie, thank you.
What are y'all gonna do now?
Real concern in this country tonight with what authorities are now seeing involving the coronavirus.
Black people statues up.
Cases on the rise today in Arizona tonight, for example.
There needs to be statues of that symbol white people too. The world don't revolve around white people. The world don't revolve around Mexicans. The world don't revolve around Chinese people. No. The world don't revolve around white people either. It revolves around everybody.
Arizona's health department urging hospitals to activate their emergency plans. More than 5,000 new cases.
The statues are a sign of people.
And now hospitals saying they're maxing out on ICU beds.
We need to really
so they're going to take down the Statue of Liberty.
Responsible when we go outside.
The Statue of Liberty was a gift to America.
There's evidence that we're not doing that.
21 states in Puerto Rico
it don't hurt
registering a rise
anybody.
in COVID, and 14 states, including Arizona, have seen their highest 7-day average growth since the pandemic began. The governor here lifting that stay-at-home order on May 15th. People gather in large groups again at bars and restaurants.
You know, right now we're fine, but if we continue at a rate like this, we're facing a significant chance that we're going to have to shut down the state again.
That store must have been a long way from here, Jessica.
Driver of growth in nearly 2/3 of the hotspots in 31 states. Scott Felix is a 25-year-old who says he got sick after camping during Memorial Day. He spiked 104 fever and tested positive for COVID.
A lot of people that I've talked to have said that they felt like they may have already had the coronavirus and it would be safe to go outside. I would say don't assume that.
And David, the World Health Organization is now walking back that surprising claim, saying that asymptomatic people can and do spread the virus, but they admit they don't know exactly how that happens. David?
Huh?
Very important. Again, asymptomatic people can still spread the virus, and Matt, we thank you for that. And we'll come back here tonight. We do have breaking news on another front this evening, the case of that mom and her missing children. Tonight, word that her husband is now under arrest, and authorities do believe they have found human remains on his property.
Back off.
You're not welcome here.
Get out of my face. HPV can cause certain cancers when your child grows up. Get in its way. HPV can affect males and females, and there's no way to predict who will or won't clear the virus. But you can help protect your child by taking a first step. The CDC recommends HPV vaccination at age 11 or 12 to help protect against certain cancers. Hey, cancer? Not my child. Don't wait. Talk to your child's doctor about HPV vaccination today. 80% of bacteria in your mouth aren't even on teeth.
80%?
Colgate Total is different. It fights bacteria in your whole mouth, protecting 100% of your mouth surfaces. Colgate Total, antibacterial protection for a healthier mouth.
So here's the thing. I'm actually closer to my retirement days than I am my college days. I just want to know, am I going to be okay?
I know people who specialize in am I going to be okay? Immediate classes, though.
Guidance to help you stay on track.
Saturdays happen. Pain happens. Aleve it. Aleve is proven stronger and longer on pain than Tylenol. When pain happens, Aleve it. All day strong.
My tip is, the worst lies are the lies you tell yourself. Like smoking isn't that dangerous.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT now.
No one tells you what to expect when you're expecting a new pet. Okay, then we need to get you a crate, training treats, potty pads. But with Chewy's low prices, you'll find amazing deals on everything you need for your pets. Start saving at Chewy today. Save 30% on your first order at Chewy.
Now is the time to focus on what matters most, and your health is key to that. Centrum supports your body with vitamin C and zinc to help
military is making history tonight. Senators today confirming General Charles Brown as the next Air Force Chief of Staff. He is the first African American to head a branch of the American military. He recently released video about his experiences with racism in the military, calling his new role a, quote, heavy burden, saying he can't fix centuries of racism in our country, but that he can make improvements. The Senate vote is 98-0. When we come back tonight, that major development in the search for those two missing siblings, news of an arrest, and authorities say they have found human remains.
I have the power to lower my blood sugar and A1C.
Because I can still make my own insulin. And Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to. What's weekly Trulicity for type 2 diabetes? It's not insulin. It starts acting from the first dose, and it lowers risk of heart attack, stroke, or death in people with known heart disease or multiple risk factors.
Trulicity isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, belly pain, and decreased appetite, which lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. We're committed to helping ensure Trulicity is available and affordable. Learn more at Trulicity.com.
Want amazing looking eyes? Try Lumify from the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. Lumify dramatically reduces redness to help your eyes look whiter and brighter for up to 8 hours with just one drop. Lumify, you won't believe your eyes.
Saturdays happen. Pain happens. Aleve it. Aleve is proven stronger and longer on pain than Tylenol. When pain happens, Aleve it. All day strong.
So who climbs ladders to clean their gutters?
Dad, I keep telling you it's dangerous.
Climbing ladders is too dangerous. Leaf Filter puts an end to that.
So how does it work?
Leaf Filter's 3-piece system filters out leaves and debris, letting water flow through freely.
Do we need to replace our gutters?
Great question. Leaf Filter can be installed right on top of your existing gutters. We're sold. Call 833-LEAF FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. When considering another treatment, ask about Xeljanz XR.
Passing a drink.
For adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or active psoriatic arthritis. Proven methotrexate did not work.
But I think my drink's
pain, swelling, and significantly improve physical function. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections like TB. Don't start Xeljanz if you have an infection. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA can increase risk of death. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened, as have tears in the stomach or intestines, serious allergic reactions, and changes in lab results. Tell your doctor if you've been somewhere fungal infections are common, or if you've had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Don't let another morning go by without asking your doctor about Xeljanz XR.
Now to the search for those missing siblings in Idaho. Police today arresting the husband of Lori Vallow 9 months after her children were last seen in public. Authorities today finding what they believe are human remains on Chad Daybell's property in Salem. They have not been identified. The couple has refused to cooperate with authorities, but they have claimed the children are safe. Vallow is behind bars. When we come back tonight, a mother who came here to Houston and knows her son's name. Her message to anyone that said, I want to help.
Motorcycle riders love the open road, and Geico loves helping riders get to where they're going.
Thank you, them hamburgers were good.
Geico is giving new and current customers a 15% credit on their motorcycle policies with the Geico Give Back. And because we're committed for the long haul, the credit lasts your whole policy.
The macaroni and cheese is good too, Jessica.
Geico Give Back, helping riders focus on the road ahead. Hungry? Go Giant for dinner. Feed the family with giant-sized subs from Jersey Mike's. Order through our app for no-contact pickup or delivery.
Whoa, good Lord.
Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Oh, look at you.
Don't you worry about paying for all that data?
Oh, no. I'm on Consumer Cellular.
Oh, I've got a great plan with Consumer Cellular, too. sends 3 pictures of Cece every day, 1 for each grandchild.
My kids haven't even seen a picture of Bruno.
Get talk, text, and data as low as $20 a month with Consumer Cellular. From number 1 in customer service by J.D. Power. See how much you can save at consumercellular.com or find us at Target.
Your mission. Stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill,
Sit
can
up to ice
dramatically
cream.
improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness,
Oh,
swelling,
Lord.
and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections and blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred.
I don't have any food on my plate.
And tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking.
I'm trying to see if the bank sent me a letter about.
Rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to
Where I
help.
put that thing in.
You want me to put this stuff up?
Yeah, please.
This commercial's loud.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, Simply Safe is 24/7 home security.
It would make somebody's ear bleed.
Yeah, it would.
You hear that, Larry? Every window, every door.
So take it from an expert. Get Simply Safe and protect home like a pro.
Visit simplysafe.com for a limited time offer.
Giant appetite? Right now, you can earn a free Jersey Mike's giant size sub. Just download our app, create an account, and purchase any sub. The next giant is on us. Jersey
Get a
Mike's.
bowl and put that
Each sub above.
them hamburgers in.
Conway 31 News anchor Dan Schaefer. New at 6, there are new concerns about the coronavirus in Morgan County. They're seeing a large spike in numbers. Meteorologist Carson Meredith is tracking rain in some places across North Alabama when things dry out again. Next at 6. Finally tonight here, a mother who thought it was her duty to come here to Houston. Our interview with Ahmaud Arbery's mother and her hope. Among the thousands who came to this church in Houston are the mothers. Some who want to teach their children, some who want to protect their children, and some who share the same pain. Among them, Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones. Her son was shot and killed while jogging in Georgia. Why did you think it was important to come here for this service?
I needed to come out to support.
Was her son not that person that we saw on the news a couple months ago?
And just to know that you have people that are standing with you makes it much easier on the heart.
She knows all of the names, and now she knows many of their mothers.
Have you found that it was sort of an unexpected family of mothers created by this?
And unfortunately, I wasn't aware that there were so many mothers that had actually lost their sons to this type of brutality until here recently. And it's very devastating along with heartbreaking.
She is fighting for justice for her own son, Ahmaud. And just today, she began a new fight, pushing Georgia to pass a hate crime bill, one of only 4 states without one. And in all of the faces around the country pushing for change, she sees hope.
What would you say to the country?
I would just say thank you. We can make a change if we stand together. And we must continue to stand and fight together. Once I saw that we're not standing alone, everyone is standing among us, it gives me strength to go on.
A mother grateful to those who have shown they want change too. I'll see you tomorrow night from New York. Good night.
Her voicemail.
Don't miss the Woodland
I got a
Homes of Huntsville
voicemail.
Dream Home Cooking Show, airing every Sunday morning at 9:30, right here on Way 31. Join Melissa and Mike and enjoy some of their amazing recipes. And take a look at the latest homes offered by Woodland Homes of Huntsville. Melissa's love of cooking and Mike's love of building homes have come together in the television show Dream Home Cooking. Watch the show every Sunday morning at 9:30, right here on Way 31.
student loan. I don't have a student loan. Telling me that the student loan forbearers, whatever the hell that is, will be lifted on June something. I have no idea what that means. I'm going to turn this on. TLC. Gonna do some shows on there tonight that we like. And then I'm gonna go wash the dish.
We begin tonight with the latest on coronavirus developments that you need to know about. The University of North Alabama confirmed 2 employees and a student tested positive for coronavirus. Today, Governor Kay Ivey issued a state of emergency proclamation.
You remember, you deal with a human being, try to deal with it rationally and with kindness and love.
Okay. Come on, Abby, let's go wash dishes. You gotta help tonight.
Thankful for each day. You know, it's really shown me a lot about how precious life really is.
I mean, are you excited? Are you ready? Previously, on Seven Little Johnston.
Yeah, I guess we have that really. Anna going off to college is what's best for her and what's best for all of us.
It'll show the one where she goes off to college, and then it'll show a new one.
You're afraid? Yeah, sure.
Obviously, like, high school is harder than college, so like, how am I gonna pass? I know, you should get this. That's good support right there.
Coming up on Seven Little Johnston, I am packing all my stuff that I will be bringing to college.
Good. Yeah, jeez. Are you taking any, like, cute clothes?
You need to take a lot of clothes with you.
Look, I had to tell her to get some more freaking
Hey, baby, I've got the ice cream out if you want to come and get me and you, and if Jessica wants some ice cream out.
It's really happening, Anna. Really, really happening.
Hey, well, who put this in here? What is it? Is this right? I mean,
Sad and broken
one
clothes
over.
are a little bit.
Just to come
We're not
put
doing
this
this to any of our other kids, but we're doing this to
in
ours.
that basket and we'll wash
I mean, I think
it.
I'll get a little sick, but
Oh.
All right, girl. Love you. We definitely, you know, don't know what the future holds for us. Think she's gonna make it through the weekend?
I'm Amber,
I'm Trent.
and we have 5 kids.
Some people call us the biggest little family in the world.
But you can just call us the Johnsons.
All right, Mom. The college like sent me a list of items that I should bring.
Anna heading off to college is right around the corner. You know, she'll be living on campus, which definitely means big changes in our household. Guidelines for residence privileges.
You must have an acceptable attendance record.
I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, not just on Anna, but it's going to be tough on Mom and Dad because she's up there, not by herself, but as a family member, she's by herself.
This stuff terrible, didn't it, Jessica?
Yeah, it is. And I put a good bit of oil in there, Mom.
You know, this is the next step for us.
And salt,
you're not
too.
losing a child, but you're not seeing them every morning or every afternoon, or they're not sitting around your dinner table at night. And that is huge in our family.
What furniture is included? Each room has 2 twin beds, chest of drawers, no sofas or love seats allowed. Oh, this is basically home away from home. She's going to be living primarily on her college campus in her dorm, and so she needs, you know, a lot of the daily, you know, necessities that are at her current house in her dorm. So pillows, sheets, comforter. Even though I had some worries about college, I am excited that I will be able to really just make my own decisions. I really don't think you're gonna do laundry down there. Do you plan on staying like through plenty of weekends?
Your boyfriend loving like that. You don't have a boyfriend.
Like you don't come home
get
on
one.
weekends?
You don't have one.
Some weekends. I guess Mom was expecting me to come home every weekend or every 2 weekends, but I thought I was going to come home like in order to do this, you're going to need a 2-step stool and a pair of tongs. For us, laundry supplies is not just soap. It is laundry soap, a laundry basket, a step ladder, or 2-step stool. Because the type of washing machine they have, she's gonna have to lean over and get her laundry out with a vacuum. She's not bend, you know, her. She will need the switch to be a little bit higher than usual. We'll also have to have tongs because we use tongs to pull the clothes out of the washing machine. Start. Yeah, she said she's not gonna come home.
I didn't give no boyfriend nothing when I was in college.
Okay.
I was married when I was in college.
Maybe, I don't know.
And I was pregnant when I was in college a second time.
You know, a couple months ago,
Somebody got me pregnant for the third time when I was in college.
I didn't.
Whatever, liar.
So I'm like, you know, we sat here trying to.
Well, Jessica, I got all this off. Let's not make me burn and cheese no more till we get a different idea.
I mean, yes, I'm fine with that. Alright, you ready to go shopping?
Give nobody
Today,
no
all
nothing.
of us girls are going door shopping for college. For
Did you want any tissues?
We're not all going.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we're not door shopping. What colors?
Give nobody no nothing.
Decoration stuff that you already
There's
have.
2 plates I'm putting in here in this ice cream bowl, and I ain't
How about
doing
you
no more.
let us figure that?
Give nobody no nothing.
Are you done,
Ain't
Bella?
No decorating skills.
Boyfriend don't get no nothing.
But we need towels. I know. Which go around? Do you like these or I don't want
There.
brown or white? Those are the big ones. Yes,
My
brown.
shirt
brown
is
towels.
wet
Oh,
again.
brown, white. Oh. What we have on the list? We have pillows. All the bedding stuff.
You wasn't very hungry?
Not
Desk
really.
stuff, laundry stuff, plastic bowls and spoons. I know you should get this. Yeah, no, not good. Sit in that chair. That's good support right there.
Well, guess what, Anna? I got it for you. It's on my hair. I can't get up.
Jump. I'll hold it. Jump. Hold it on here. Hold it on here. There's a little bit of color. Okay. Yeah, but that doesn't go with. Yeah, here's that one. Oh, I like this one. And I can see myself too when I wake up. I'm looking forward to God. I'm getting like more excited because like we're shopping and like we're doing all like the fun stuff. Get like 3 different kind. Do I have to get picture frames? You need to remember the people that are getting you where you are today. I mean, let's just be real transparent. Like, there's a little bit of relief going on because times have been very challenging and difficult over the last few years. I think space apart is necessary to fix some of the relationships in our home.
Let me ask you this. How many times has Anna messed up? And I'll go there.
We work with Anna.
But
Anna is your escape goat.
okay, you're right. I'll use her as that until it gets improved.
Okay,
If I could do, I'd get up, slap his jaws.
Yeah, you're a hodgepodge of mess. I hope Anna's gonna do pretty well living with a stranger, but you never know.
I think Anna is gonna drive the roommate nuts.
Look, keep the white and the wood and the little bit of metal. But see, you've got like silver. That's what I said about her. She's fine, Mama. This is her dorm. It's not her dorm. Dorm shopping went great. You know, we definitely filled up carts full of stuff.
I'm glad we didn't ever have to go dorm shopping.
Yes, I am. Everything, yeah. More importantly, I think it has allowed her to become comfortable with the transition and the idea and the change. And that's what I think is super important for her. All right, where's Emma and Alex? Emma and Elizabeth? Inside. They're just chilling. Just call them. I'm gonna get in the car and start cooking up.
Hello?
Come on.
Oh.
We've been waiting for you for like 2 minutes. Come on. Why?
Well, Anna, why don't you want this? It's really comfortable and awesome and amazing.
It doesn't match my room, Emma, and I'm definitely not sending you that.
Oh, jeez. You should.
I can't believe we're already getting ready to do a senior year 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and then you got a 4-year gap after that.
It is my senior year this year, and I have been nominated to be on the homecoming court. I'm not officially on the homecoming court yet.
If you make homecoming court, does that mean you're daddy has to walk you out across the football field?
Yes, and of course we get the big fancy car. I think Liz would make a pretty good homecoming queen.
I think Elizabeth could be an amazing homecoming queen.
If Elizabeth makes homecoming court, then we've got to like come up with slogan and come up
Because
with
then you're able to like do that kind of stuff after you know you're on the court.
yeah.
If I make it on the homecoming court, you basically have the privilege to campaign yourself to be voted on. Don't pick your nose, pick Liz.
Oh.
Queen Elizabeth.
So we're being vote for Liz because she's the
Clap your hands, stomp your feet, vote for Liz, who is so sweet. I got a heart, I got a vision, vote for me is a good decision.
I've got a heart, you've got a fart.
I love that she makes the homecoming court.
I'd be.
Be the first little person to be on married person's homecoming court.
And if her daddy gets to escort her across the football field, it'll be my first homecoming court too. 43 is never too late.
Nope.
We need some more ice cream.
Today I am packing just all my stuff that I will be bringing to college. I need to pack clothes, bedding, lamp, hangers, bath stuff, all of that stuff. A camo t-shirt, because I'm redneck.
Let's see the clothes madness.
There you go.
That's not too bad.
Let me fold some of them for you. You can if you want to. Yeah.
Are you taking you at least like 1 or 2 pairs of pants?
No.
I would.
Yeah.
What is that?
A camo t-shirt.
Are you taking any like cute clothes? Or is it all like?
Yes, I'm taking cute clothes.
Anna has definitely been one that lives in the moment, does not think ahead. As far as a kid to be prepared, you know, it just doesn't come natural for her. You just have to give those gentle reminders of, you know, you're not just gonna be able to run upstairs in your bedroom and get a windbreaker, or run upstairs in your bedroom and, you know, get a pair of tennis shoes or a pair of jeans. It's all a lot to process.
Yep,
for
that
her.
sounds like it.
Jacket.
I think I'm opening this one.
Good. Gosh, jeez.
I
Who
love
gave you that? I bought it. She bought that.
I bought it for
Because nobody would give you something. Well, guess what? Everybody will be able to see you.
Actually,
Which that's what Anna likes. Anna's style, you know, is a little challenging at times.
T-shirt,
Here, take mine.
dressy.
I don't want that yours.
Okay, what you want?
Yes.
That highlighter shirt is not
Take
dressy.
your own.
Well, don't
Take
you
your own.
dare wear that to a dressy occasion.
I just got there washing everybody's dishes, except for 2 plates and the ice cream bowl.
The rest of us don't agree with.
This is dressy. Look at this.
That is dressy.
Yeah, no.
Chargers, yellow USA Olympic t-shirt. That shows your belly button.
I just got through cooking that much stuff.
I mean, I have golf shirts.
Jessica cooked the shells and cheese. I sliced the onions and tomatoes. I warmed up the baked beans, and then we forgot to get them out. And you just cooked hamburgers.
How much clothes are you taking? I guess a lot. Huh?
Just this. Look, I had to tell her to get some more freaking underwear.
Then Willard didn't even eat.
Underwear and bras.
He went off somewhere with
I had it up. I had underwear and a
those
bra.
sluts.
You need to take a lot of clothes with you. And when you come home on the weekends, you bring a weekend bag
How
home.
she's not coming home on the weekends?
Whatever.
Huh?
Whatever.
Exactly.
I'm happy if she doesn't.
No, you're not. I don't care what Emma says. Emma's gonna miss her. Look, Emma, I got your problem fixed.
Are you for real, Dad? The posters of me were from graduation, and so I would have felt bad if I threw them away, so I just kept them behind my door. Good night, Anna. Tucking you in.
Really, Abby?
I'm still packing. I'm not worried about
Quit now. I'm fixing to whoop you for that. I told you. Told you, quit scratching my back.
Anna. Bye, Anna.
You know, it's hard to think right now what the house is gonna be like without Anna. I'm I'm not one of those guys that puts something fast forward to start assuming and contemplating
We
what
gotta get there first.
what it's gonna be like.
I mean, what are we gonna do if we get there and the kid just all of a sudden, you know, has a meltdown? Like, no, no, no. We gotta get there before we start thinking what the house is gonna be like. Technically, I have a week to get my money back for college.
Fun to drive wherever you go. The first ever CRV hybrid with all-wheel drive standard. Best-selling CUV over the last decade now comes as a hybrid. From Honda.
Who's ready to take on the morning? You are. Because Frosted Mini